Right. So, Anil, nice to see you on the podcast. Thanks for giving us some time to join us and talk about your new startup, your new funded startup. I hasten to add, RegScale.
Absolutely. Thank you all for having me. Appreciate it.
All right, so it's our pleasure. We're just getting this podcast launched, and we're having some pretty interesting chats with with people from the startup community, from the VC community, because it's great to just talk about your journey. What kind of got you to the point where you started up a company which has now had a considerable amount of funding, to hear about, I suppose, what journey you've been on. So, I mean, for those of the people that are going to listen who don't know you, would you mind a short introduction?
Absolutely. No, happy to share my background and story and why we decided to tackle this problem head on. And really it's rooted in having personally felt the pain that we solve. So started my US government career at interestingly enough, a US nuclear weapons laboratory, Los Alamos National Laboratory in Los Alamos, New Mexico, out in the middle of nowhere. I had the opportunity to work with some incredible engineers and scientists, and had the opportunity to design their cloud and collaboration platforms. And as a result, had to go write a mountain of documentation to demonstrate compliance against regulatory standards in Word documents and Excel spreadsheets that were instantly out of date the moment that you created them. So I met my fellow co-founder and our chief technology officer, Travis Howerton, who came out of Oak Ridge, Y12, one of the most brilliant engineers and leaders I've ever met. And we both had the opportunity to serve as the CTOs of the U.S. nuclear weapons program, which is what brought me to Washington, D.C. So we now found ourselves on the other side of the table, having to physically sign off in paper and pen, accepting risk on behalf of the government for running these systems, going, there has to be a better way. Gotta be a way to solve this problem around compliance. So
Yeah.
decided to leave government and do something about it.
Yeah, I think the archaic and the perhaps antiquated approach of spreadsheets still exists in many industries, as people in highly regulated industries. Hopefully, they still don't do that. But I can imagine RegScale now, you're probably just a little bit broader in your horizons than government policy and governmental kind of divisions. You started banking communities, I would assume.
Absolutely. I mean, it's so one of the things we did when I first left government is, to validate, is this compliance problem something that is inherently a government-centric problem because government loves to create problems for itself? Or is this a problem that every regulated industry faces? And
Yeah.
come to find out, every regulated industry has this problem around compliance. And you'd be surprised to know that, even to this day in 2022, compliance is still done in Word documents and Excel spreadsheets and physical paper.
Yeah. I hear some horror stories. Some of the people that I talk to many different industries. I talk to people who sell technology, who buy technology, and it still exists on a scary large scale. And I guess your technology it's an API centric approach that you're taking, so it's quite an easy tool, I would assume, to to kind of plug and play with and to install.
That's exactly right. It's literally designed to integrate with the tools an organization already has in place. You take the findings from all the tools you already are watching, but people are watching them.
Yeah.
And this allows the machine to watch the machine, takes all those findings as mapped to your compliance controls, automates the creation of tickets in your ticketing systems, generates audit-ready documentation on demand.
Nice, very nice. And I suppose people listening, who would that appeal to the most? I mean, if you think there's somebody listening in the bank or there's somebody listening in a government body, what would their position be? What would their problem be?
How do you stay ahead of all the different audits and data calls that you are constantly being asked for as a chief information security officer or a chief compliance officer or a chief risk officer?
Yeah.
The reality is it's a never-ending journey. Every time an auditor walks in the room, everyone's head, unfortunately, collectively just goes down like this. Because it's painful. You just know that this is not going to be an enjoyable experience.
Yeah.
So what if you could script your response once to a system and allow the system to maintain your evidence
Yeah.
and generate it on demand from the systems that are doing the monitoring, and then allow the auditors to have a really good human experience so that they can be 10 times more effective in doing their work, and yet give the auditor the data that they need to make an informed decision to the regulator. So really the problem that we're trying to solve here, that we've solved with RegScale, is servicing both the auditor and the audited.
Mm. And I suppose that has become a little more challenging with a lot of the banking industry, to use the example. A lot of the branches closing, a lot of the people now being working remote, as opposed to all being, I suppose, watched over by I don't know, the foreman, if you will, and checking that their compliance is done at that point in time. So this offers not only a solution to both sides of the fence, but to that real time kind of experience of, making sure it's done right first time.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, when you think about auditing, when you think about regulatory compliance, the way it's done today is all point in time.
Mm.
Right? It's only done when somebody shows up and asks you a question. Right? What happens between point A and point B?
Yeah.
Right? When no one asks you a question, right? It's like trying to patch over a giant hole in the road. The
Yeah.
road is a bunch of potholes, but when the audit happens, everything's just beautiful
Yeah.
for a small amount of time, right? I believe there's a meme running around on LinkedIn that looks just like that, right? When an
Yeah.
audit happens and the pothole is perfectly paved over, but forget the rest of the road,
Yeah.
right? And the reality is, that's just not realistic.
Yeah.
It doesn't work, it doesn't scale, and it's not an accurate reflection of the business.
And is your technology now kind of able to I suppose plug into local policy in all continents? So it's not just an American solution; it can plug into EU policy, to UK policy, to Singaporean policy.
Absolutely. I mean, we've seen actually quite a few downloads of our completely free community edition in Australia, of all places.
Okay.
So when Australia produced their new cybersecurity policy in a new NIST standard called the Open Security Controls Assessment Language, or OSCAL,
Mm-hmm.
we saw a giant uptick of downloads from Australia because our platform natively supports NIST's OSCAL standard.
Nice.
And that's just one example of many. So,
Mm.
when you think of our platform, we have the ability to digitize any regulatory requirement. So whether it be a UK requirement, an Australian requirement, a US requirement, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
We have the ability to digitize and normalize those requirements, those compliance policies, procedures, regulations, bring it into RegScale as a digital object, and then validate and verify compliance by integrating with the tools you already have,
Right.
coupled with the manual assessments and attestation that needs to happen. So we bring both those worlds together to move you from point in time compliance to continuous compliance.
Wow. I suppose that's with ever changing compliance requirements and governmental policies, I think there's going to be some governmental policy shifts in our banking, perhaps very soon. I think it gives people peace of mind that when the auditors do come, everybody's safe. Nobody's kind of going to be up in the newspapers getting fined heftily, which puts people off banking with them, of course. So in terms of like your journey then to the point where you are now, you've obviously built a very attractive product to the point where you've attracted interest from the investment community. 20 million Series A is no small feat, especially with the climate, the economy as it is now. Talk us through that journey. In terms of you come up with an idea, you get it through production, you kind of get to a point where you've got something tangible to take to an investor. What does that journey look and feel like?
Well, everyone's journey is different and everyone's story is different, right? I mean, really what it comes down to is, are you solving a real problem that a customer is willing to pay for? Right. So one of the things we did early on is leverage the lean startup approach. So In our model, we actually self-funded the seed round. So we have another company that's a sister company to RegScale, which is what RegScale spun out of, that did full stack software development, high-end DevSecOps work that we founded as well.
Mm-hmm.
So we founded that company and we incubated RegScale in that company, leveraging the lean startup approach.
Yeah.
So we had the thesis of the problem that we felt in government. We took that thesis, coupled with a couple trends in industry that enabled something like this to be born: the rise of the API economy, cloud, DevSecOps, right? Modern development frameworks to really be able to architect and build a modern experience for both the machine and the human, and iterate on that experience with design partners that said, you know what, I believe in what you're trying to accomplish. We're going to work with you to co-innovate and deliver an experience that's going to solve a big problem. And then at the end of that journey, be able to sign on as early customers to validate that vision. So what that enabled us to do is go back to the investment community at a time where, obviously the world is very different than it was, so say a year ago, and demonstrate, look, we've solved a tangible problem. Here's a list of not only design partners, but actual tangible customers that are paying for the solution. Is this a journey that you want to embark upon with us? And we were super excited to sign that 20 million Series A with an incredible group of market-leading venture firms that have helped really grow and shape our company to hyperscale in the year to come.
Yeah, I suppose it's nice to see. I think as some of the local VCs as well are involved. I think VIPC, Virginia Venture Partners, are involved. SYN Ventures also involved. You've obviously got some great brain power as well as the financial collateral to accelerate the business. And correct me if I'm wrong. Now you've got to a point which I'm sure they're all very happy with, where you're over triple-digit revenue growth.
Absolutely, yeah. We're growing at an incredibly rapid clip, both in customers, in revenue, and even in downloads. So one of the things that we're doing here at RegScale is we're leading a movement. So it's not just about selling software, it's about reimagining the way compliance is done holistically. So, take a step back. Let's look at how software development was done. There used to be a time where a software developer would write code and go hand it over to a system administrator, or a system administrator would test it, say, no, here's all these problems, hand it back to a software developer. They'd go fix it, then go hand it back to the system administrator. They'd go test it, put it in an environment. Then security would come in and go, no. All these things are wrong. You need to go fix all this stuff. So they go back and fix all these things.
Dev tennis. Yeah.
Exactly. So this notion or principle was born around DevOps, for developers and operators to work side by side. Then security got involved and became DevSecOps, right? And now you've got CI/CD pipelines, and you've got these groups working hand in hand to be able to continuously integrate and deploy code into multiple environments.
Yeah.
Right? But that wasn't just technology. That was a movement, a cultural transformation coupled with technology and tooling to make what is now normal a reality, right? But it took a cultural change for that to happen. The agile methodology was born around how to deploy code in an agile manner and then write code in an agile manner. So what we're doing here at RegScale is we're leading the regulatory operations, or RegOps movement.
Right. Okay. I was waiting for the buzzword.
Yeah. So, the reality is, look, we've been doing compliance in this point in time manner for decades.
Yeah.
The time has come to make compliance, like security, real time, to make compliance continuous, to make compliance complete. But it's not just technology, right? You need to marry a cultural transformation coupled with tooling and technology to make all of this real. Right. So one of the things we've written is a compliance manifesto mirrored off the Agile manifesto with a set of guiding principles that you can find on our, you just Google RegOps and you'll find the manifesto that we put out there. It's on our website, but it's out there publicly.
Right.
And it's around just some core principles of what we believe. And
Yeah.
one of the things we believe is we believe compliance shouldn't be unaffordable. In fact, we believe it should be free to get started.
Yeah,
So
kind of like a PLG approach, maybe.
not so much. I mean, because PLG means you need to go up level, right? In our case, we're providing you a completely free community edition that you could just stay on and use and get tremendous value.
Oh,
that
wow.
you could download for free. You could use it, and ultimately, we want to power the movement, but you need technology to help power the movement. We've given it away, so we have over 100,000 downloads of the completely free RegScale Community Edition globally.
Geez, you've got to 100,000 already. Oh my life. So what advice would you give? Because I think the stats that I'm seeing are probably a little scary to CEOs and to those that are in, stealth mode, or they're in seeded round funding, who are aspiring to build a successful model as you have. What advice would you give to the CEOs that are in that position at the moment, that are trying to make something happen?
Solve a problem a customer's willing to pay for, right? And it has to be in a big enough market, and you have to have a really strong position in the market, how you differentiate from others in the market, and how you can quickly scale your platform.
Right.
And then go do it.
Yeah.
Because ultimately there is no free lunch. You can't just wait for someone to give you capital to go build it. You just need to go out and do it.
Yeah.
Right. And demonstrate that what you say you can do, you can actually do. And don't just do it for one quarter. Do it quarter over quarter over quarter. And demonstrate those results with the individuals you want to build a relationship with.
Yeah.
Because ultimately, it's not about the dollars. Good dollars find good companies.
And I suppose then, because you're obviously, from a technology background, solutions architecture through CTO to where you are now, and from being an engineer in the pedigree of your journey, you're obviously a very commercial minded. You're very gregarious and very quite easy to build rapport with. Whereas some of the founders that I speak to who are engineers perhaps don't have the key attributes that you share there. How would you think you combat that if you were thinking a CEO or someone that you've worked with in the past that perhaps lacks that commercial or the confidence to speak as freely as you do? How would you overcome that?
It's an old African proverb that I'll quote here. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. Surround yourself with people smarter than you in areas that complement you.
Yeah.
Because ultimately, if you are a tried and true engineer, you're going to need someone that understands go-to-market, that understands how to communicate effectively the thing that you've built, have a matched pair and team around you.
Yeah.
Can take capital to scale. Because ultimately, if you're just an engineer, you're going to be challenged to talk about the product in a way that demonstrates real business outcomes. If you're just a go-to-market person and you don't have any technology underpinning you, it's just architecture. It's just slides on a page telling a story that doesn't have any weight. So you need both. You can't have one without the other.
And what's your approach to obviously you have a way in which you hire and something that's worked for you at RegScale and the kind of people that you're trying to attract to the business. What do you look for? What is kind of the value prop, the culture of RegScale that you're trying to build that people can buy into, to join you on that journey?
Look, there's a lot of great technology companies out there. There are a lot of places that people can choose to work. The people that we invite to join and become a RegScaler, helping organizations climb the mountain of compliance, is someone that's choosing to really embark on joining us for the mission to free organizations from digital paper, generating that documentation on demand, right? And completely leading a movement to make that happen, right? So those that are very mission-minded, mission-focused, that believe we're not just talking about selling software, we're talking about reimagining an entire industry.
Yeah.
Those are the folks that we'd love to have a conversation with.
Yeah.
Because we're not just out here selling software. There's a lot of companies that do that.
Yep.
We're out here to change an entire industry. And for those that want to be part of that journey, I'd love to talk to you.
So you're looking for the trailblazers.
That's exactly it. Salesforce kind of leveraged that model of trailblazers. Like we're RegScalers. So
right, fair. Okay. Well, if you think yourself forwards as many years as you want to care to think forward, maybe 5 years or 10 years, where's RegScale?
Every great company was built on a solid foundation. So, we're really building the great company of tomorrow, because if you're really looking to reimagine an industry, we're looking to stay, and we're looking to stay. We're looking to make a difference in the community. We're looking to make a difference in the world.
Yeah.
Which is why the model that we've chosen is one that is incredibly different in this industry. And we're inviting people to join us on this journey, not just for a year or two, but for the foreseeable future, because ultimately compliance is a problem that will never go away. It's something that organizations will always have to do in one way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
What we're trying to do is help those organizations that have to demonstrate that do so in a value-added way to up-level and upskill compliance professionals from having to do the rote, mundane work that they have to do day in, day out, to now help them climb that mountain of compliance and actually be a value add to the business by demonstrating, hey, here's the risk to the business, and here's the cost to remediate those risks, so that when those audits actually do happen, you're not having to eat fines and reputation loss.
Yeah. Okay. So I suppose you're looking for people that are passionate about the problem and the value that your technology brings. I suppose you have to have that when you're trying to change the narrative of or change the market, as you say, with the RegOps phrase that I don't need if you coin that, or if that's something that you guys have come up with to push that to market. But people have to really be passionate about what that is doing for that space, and then obviously inherently comes with the passion will come the success, the rewards, the going through the hard times together, and to use African proverb, to share that as a team.
That's exactly right. I mean, the one thing that we're really passionate about is we're all in this journey together, right? And that African proverb that I mentioned holds true, where we surround ourselves with people that have different thoughts and beliefs and ideas, and that helps us look at things in a wholly different light, so that we're able to innovate at the speed of our customer. One of the things that we're laser focused on is serving our customer. We're very much a customer-centric organization, so everything we do is centrally focused on helping you achieve your tangible business and technical outcomes. So given that, we're very much an active listening kind of organization, and your feedback works its way into product development in a way that no other company that we have ever seen has been able to innovate at that speed, because that's literally the way we operate.
Well, I can feel the passion as you speak about it. I can feel the enthusiasm that you have, and I have no doubt that permeates through the people in your business. And I think what I'm very keen to do is to share this message with people in my community. I've got a network of 30,000 people that are in technology, a lot of which will be in the banking communities in heavily financial regulated industries. So I think this message should really resonate. I've got a good friend of mine who he's the head of KYC and compliance for one of our large banks. And he's got remote teams in 2 locations around the world. And I think something that would give him this kind of real-time reporting to say, right, okay, this isn't looking good, this is okay, might save him some grey hairs, which I know he often complains to me about. So I think there's certainly this will resonate with some of our listeners. And if you want people to get in touch with you and to approach RegScale as either a customer or somebody who perhaps wants to join you on your journey, how would you propose they do that? Would you want them to go to your website and sign up to a demo, or go to the careers page, or contact somebody in your organization, or you directly?
Well, if you'd like to join the RegScale family and be part of our movement, of course, we invite you to visit our careers page on our website, regscale.com. If you're interested in wanting to see what is this RegScale thing all about, you can go right to our website, click the create an account button, follow the steps there, and you can schedule a demo directly with one of our RegScale onboarding specialists to experience what RegScale is all about. And if you want to join the community and exchange best practices, you can go to community.regscale.com. So we've got a community that we're building to help power this RegOps movement, because it's going to take all of us, not just one of us, to make this real. So, we invite you to join us on this journey, whether it is as a customer, whether as it's an employee that you're looking for a new place to call home, or if you're looking to just wanting to be part of the movement in any way, shape, or form. We'd love to work with you.
Wonderful. I'll put hyperlinks in the body of the content which supports this podcasting below, so anybody that is listening can click along and, whatever journey they wish to go on, click the appropriate link. So, hello, I'm going to let you go and enjoy the rest of your day and get back into the movement. It's been an absolute pleasure to learn about your journey, learn about RegScale, and hopefully this can help the RegOps movement, and Rekall can have helped on that journey to change how people do compliance. So look, Anil, it's such a pleasure, and I hope to see you when you're in London very soon.
Absolutely. No, I hope to see you as well. Thanks so much for having me.
My pleasure. Take care.